Hi everybody, so this is my 9-week post-op update. It's been exactly 9 weeks since the surgery, again the Tfcc cartilage repair and the ulnar shortening. If you recall from my last video, which was the 6-week mark, I got my last cast off, and it's been great not having to wear that anymore. And I was supposed to go to physical therapy. Long story short, didn't go to physical therapy until today, not my choice, but couldn't get there till today, so I've been winging it on my own for the past 3 weeks. My first rehab appointment today I'll go into a little bit later. I just thought I'd go over real quick where I'm at now, how things are going now. So in the past 3 weeks, the first week out of the cast was really painful. The wrist was very, very stiff. It was hard as a rock. I described it a little bit in my last video. And stiffness is pain at this point. There really isn't pain from the surgery anywhere at all. The pain, again, is from the stiffness. It's very stiff, and if you try to force it past the stiffness, it's very pain. Those of you who've been through any kind of surgery on your joints know that after the recuperation period, a lot of stiffness, and again, stiffness equals pain. You just got to work your way through it. So anyways, yeah, that first week was really painful. Just getting minor movement out of it at all, really frustrating. I actually wore my original splint from even before the surgery. I wore my original splint at night in bed, at night, because it was just too painful. When I'm one of those people that tosses and turns a little bit when I sleep, and I was hurting myself constantly, and it was excruciating. Wake up in the middle of the night and super pain because I twisted it this way or twisted it that way. So like the first week, almost week and a half, I wore the splint at night, every night, just to protect it. The doctor gave me a brace, like a neoprene brace, after I got the last cast off, and honestly I just don't wear it because I don't want to. I've had stuff on this arm for over 2 months. 6 weeks on a cast and 6 weeks on a splint even before that. So I'm just over the brace. But anyways, so because I couldn't see the therapist for 3 weeks, I had to do a lot of research on my own to find out the appropriate stretching and rehab. Of course, I'm no expert, but you could find some pretty good stuff online. Most of it pertained to wrist fractures that were repaired with plates and screws. Pretty similar in some ways, in most ways, to what I had done. A, wrist injury, B, bone work done, C, using plates and screws during that bone work. So pretty accurate when I compared what I was doing to what I found out in rehab today, or physio, whatever you want to call it. It's actually called occupational therapy for myself. But anyways, so doing all that stretching is pretty painful. Gets less painful as time goes on. So I'll go over real quick where I'm at now, and I'll use my left good arm to compare, just so you know, you have a comparison to where I'm at with the right one. So my good left arm right here, if we just see how far it can go up, it's about 90 degrees straight up, pretty close to 90 degrees. Down is same, about 90 degrees, a little less than 90 degrees. As far as movement to the left, or sorry, well, to my right, which was up, is, I don't know, probably like 35 degrees. And then to the ulnar side is about a good 45 degrees. As far as pronation, supination, well, let's do it correctly. You're supposed to do it at your shoulder, like, or at your side like this. Get about 90 degrees palms down and about 90 degrees palms up. That's pretty normal. As far as the right arm that had the surgery on it, well, I'll show you where I'm at after 3 weeks of struggling. About going up, let's get the angle right here for the camera. I would say, ouch, did too fast there. I would say about 35 degrees roughly. About 30 degrees, but if it's nice and loose, having a nice loose day, it'll go about 35 degrees. Pretty similar down about 35 degrees, I would say. Um, as far as turning, and I can't quite twist my arm the right way yet, but I would say I'm about, I don't know, 15, 20 degrees, probably 20 degrees that way. Now the other way is a lot more of a struggle. Can't get much out that way. And that's mainly because I have a lot of weakness on this side. A lot of weakness in this muscle on this side, pulling it this way. And then as far as pronation, supination, so right here, neutral, about 45 degrees, palms down, a little bit more than 45 degrees, probably about 50, 55 degrees, going palms up. So that's where I'm at now. I'll go ahead and get on to the actual rehabilitation or physical therapy. Well, again, for me it's called occupational therapy. I didn't even know what an occupational therapist was. Apparently it's basically a physical therapist who specializes in bringing you back to where you're supposed to be at for your occupation. And it mainly concentrates around your arms, apparently, from what I understand. So me being a pretty hands-on person, and with this type of surgery, they felt that I needed to go to an occupational therapist. So that's who I saw today. The therapist was really nice lady. Liked her a lot. This visit didn't center a whole lot on an actual stretching and whatnot today. It was most of it was a consultation, and then we went over basically how the therapy was going to work out. So she did, a measurement of everything as far as the range of motion, and also did a grip test, which was kind of a bummer because I didn't realize how weak my grip was in my right hand. I have a sort of a grip meter. I'm not sure if it's pounds per square inch or just pounds in general, but with my left good arm, I pulled about 115, and with my right, I only did 40. So way less than half of what the other one is. But again, it's only been 3 weeks out of the cast, although it has been 9 weeks since the surgery. So anyways, she went over all the exercises, and basically most of the exercises she went over were stretching, and they were ones that I had already been doing pretty much. So apparently I did pretty good research, because it pretty much nailed it right on the head. Almost every stretch that I was doing, she had showed me. So basically, that involves, it works really good on a table. You put your arm on a table, you can gently stretch, hold it for 10 seconds, and then let it relax for 10, and then hold it for 10 seconds. Same thing for up. You can do it on a table as well. As far as be side to side, I mean, you kind of have to manipulate that with your hand. You could do it on a table, but if you do it on the table for this side, this incision area is really sensitive on the table. That can be a bit painful. So I tend to just do it by hand. Sometimes I'll do it on my knee, back and forth. I'm using my knee as a prop for it. And then as far as the pronation, supination, you turn it, and then just with the other hand, you just gradually, very slightly do it. Actually, I'm doing it wrong right now. She told me not to do it by your hand, but actually to hold it at your wrist like this, and do it manually at the wrist, not at the hand, both directions. She did tell me, and maybe this is why I've been so frustrated and not feeling like I was getting a lot of progress the last 3 weeks, is that a key to this is warming it up first. So, obviously, you have to be pretty far out from the surgery, because you use ice to keep the swelling down and keep the pain down shortly after the surgery. But now that we're 8-9 weeks out, we can start to use heat. So she told me to always use a heat pack around it for 5 minutes, just a nice warm one, not too hot, just to warm it up, and then it'll loosen things up. And we did do this in the office, and it actually worked really well. It did loosen things up, and then we did all the stretching exercises, and then depending on how you feel afterwards, she said you can ice it afterwards. So if it's a little painful, or you feel like you've got swelling coming on, you can ice it. So we iced it today. I didn't really think that I needed it, honestly, but we did. So that's pretty much it for the visit. There really wasn't a whole lot to it. Unfortunately, my next physical therapy or occupational therapy visit is not for another 3 weeks. They're a disaster over there, apparently. They just can't get appointments done fast enough or in. So anyways, but I feel pretty confident based on all the instructions she gave me. She gave me a lot of handouts. I'm pretty confident I can do it myself. But you know, it's going to be a long process. In fact, I asked her, mainly because I've been so frustrated the last 3 weeks at my progress being so slow, or to me it seems slow anyways. I asked her, well, what do you think as of right now, where do you think I would be, how long do you think it would take before I would basically have no restrictions? As far as, I mean, no restrictions meaning I can do anything I want. I can go to the gym, I can ride my bike, I can work on cars, etc. And she said it would be an absolute minimum from right now of 3 months, and could be up to 6 months depending on how the occupational therapy goes and how things loosen up. So, you know, if you count the date of the surgery to that point, I mean, you're talking about 9 months. So, pretty frustrating, but I don't know. She's probably being pretty conservative as well. Who knows? All I know is the last 3 weeks have been really frustrating because the progress is just so tiny every day. You know, you wake up every morning, it's very stiff, and as the day goes on, you know, and you're doing your exercises, it loosens up a little bit, and by the nighttime it feels pretty decent, and you start the whole process all over again the next day. In the morning it's stiff again, and the whole thing. You're just making tiny little increments of progress. So it can be really frustrating. So anyways, that's pretty much it. Probably won't do my next video for another 3 weeks, I guess. That's probably a pretty good time frame to see where I'm at, and we'll go from there. Hopefully everything keeps going as planned. Hopefully no surprises in between there, and that's pretty much it for now. So again, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Thanks, bye.